Tonight, the cross flags will indicate the halfway point of the 2003 ASA season. And what an incredible 8 races it has been. 4 different winners, veterans, as well as a rookie. Some classic oval track scuffles where the bump and run has become the preferred way to pass. And most of all, there has been drama as short tracks and even shorter tempers have pushed the action to the breaking point. The latest ASA battleground is in the heart of the racing capital of the world, Indianapolis. And we have it all next, live on Speed. For the 24th time since 1974, the American Speed Association comes to Indianapolis Raceway Park today for the 9th round of the championship chase, the Club 200 presented by BF Goodrich. Let's go trackside for that special command.
On behalf of Winter International, makers of the Club and the new Juice batteries, I want to thank you. Welcome to the Club 200. Just want to say to Connie, I love you. And now for the most exciting words in racing. Gentlemen, start your engines!
One of the biggest fields of the season comes to life as we are about to go racing here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Hi everybody and welcome. I'm Greg Creamer, joined as always by Jim Trado. Rob Albright will be with us down in the pits. And Jim, we talk about this track almost in revered terms. For a shorter oval, it's one of the best.
It's a unique racetrack as well. It's a bigger than a half-mile racetrack. The track is more corner than straightaway, so handling is at a premium, and the racing group is not on the bottom in the corners. It's on the middle and upper portions of the racetrack. They really get it all in the mail around here, and in just a 200-lap race, Greg, they're not on the wheel for the last 50 laps. They're up on the wheel all 200 laps. 2 pit stops tonight, but they're chasing some serious cash, and there's some serious speeds here.
Over $200,000 on the line. Now, last weekend, there was a terrific accident. Gary St. Amant involved when his rookie teammate forced into him after St. Amant got into it a little bit. Everybody was worried. How's Gary doing? Well, as it turns out, not too bad. Unfortunately, he's not racing, but our good fortune is he's with us here in the booth tonight. And Gary, first question, how you doing?
Well, I'm a little bit beat up. That Mansfield wreck kind of hurt me a little bit. You know, the medicine shop, I've been actually shopping at the medicine shop quite a bit this week, so I'm really happy to be up here in the booth with you guys.
Field is underway at pace and parade laps. As you see, Robbie Pyle has moved to the outside, but he's the pole sitter as we go to our starting grid. Second of the year, Butch Miller, Glenn Allen Jr. It's an interesting story. For Mike Garvey, also a very interesting story, one involving some sponsorship.
Big news this week for the WJP race team of driver Mike Garvey. Brand new sponsorship from Janicking. Mike, is this going to help you on the track as much as off?
It sure is. I mean, this is huge for us. I mean, Janicking is the #1 cleaning company in the United States, and hopefully we just keep cleaning up the competition now.
Next couple of rows, 3 and 4, a couple of good rookie stories, a couple of great veterans. For Scott Lagasse, though, it's been an intermittent season in terms of his appearances, but somehow, every time they drop the green for qualifying, he's there.
Blank fenders mean limited resources and limited races. Scott Lagasse, you remain competitive. How do you do it?
We've got a great bunch of guys, all volunteers, and we work hard, real hard, but we had a good run tonight. A little slower than we thought we'd be, but I think we'll have a real good race car, so we're looking forward to it.
We move to rows 5 and 6. Another good qualifying average from Todd Cleaver, Greg Stewart, and Toby Porter. But Danny Edwards Jr., remarkable story there, as he's got a very unique program this season.
Danny Edwards has just 7 career ASA starts spread over 3 years, including a best here 2 years ago. He finished 5th. Danny, what's it going to take to get you here more often?
Well, actually, it's just going to take some corporate sponsorship to help us compete full-time. We'd like to run 2 full-time efforts for me and my brother. We take turns driving this car from week to week.
As we take a look at the rest of the grid, one of the stories here in the 7th row, Travis Kittleson qualifying quite a ways back of Reed Sorensen. Also want to mention Glenn Allen Jr., although he qualified 4th, had an accident. We'll talk more about that in just a minute now, but want to bring in Gary St. Amant. Gary, as we're getting ready to go green here, what do you look for in terms of somebody special or anything to unfold during this race?
I'm looking for a real good race from Brian Refner. You know, I think his program's really been turning around over the last few races, and you know, I know he knows this racetrack very well. He's run some Craftsman truck races here, and I really look for a good race from him tonight.
We are about to get going. Speaking of which, pace car is in. Green about to begin for 200 laps of Indianapolis Raceway Park. What a remarkable facility, and the race about to unfold. There's the call. Miller up what looks like the lead, but look at that's Garvey underneath. Took a look, couldn't get it done. Now Pyle outside. That's the line. Miller trying to stay put. Boy, if anybody in this race knows his way around this track, you got to give the nod to Butch Miller. 4 wins here, and I think he thinks the wiser of it, Gary, and settles in behind.
Yeah, you know, Butch has got a lot of laps at this racetrack. Robbie Piles ran real good here the last couple years, and you know, I'm sure you're going to see those guys up front for the entire race tonight.
As Robbie Pyle gets more aggressive on the wheel, Gary, you can attest to this. He had 4 pole positions last year, but Robbie Pyle didn't really lead the first lap in most of those races, so to see him fight off Butch Miller, who wanted to take advantage early, was able to do so. So Pyle's up to the task tonight.
Well, Rob, one of the comments about Robbie, always fast, but could he get the deal done? Well, he's fighting hard early.
Yeah, he's been always referred to as a gentleman racer, but I asked him just before he climbed into his car, what's the plan? He said, lead every lap and win this race with intensity. So I didn't think Butch Miller, though he's the veteran, would get the best of Pyle at the start.
That's where it's at. Sorensen sits in the 5th spot. Here's a look at the 30th Kittleson as he's trying to make his way up. He's gone from 14th to 10th in these opening few laps, tucking in behind Todd Cleaver. We're on board here now with the number 1. No, check that. I'm sorry. This is Kittleson we were on board with for just a minute.
Yeah, Travis had a great race last week at Mansfield, and you know, I'm looking for.
Robbie Pyle has an off, spins down to the inside of the racetrack, about 2/3 of the way down the back straight.
Unreal.
And we're going to take a look and see what happened here, Gary. And it looked like, well, it looks like Butch giving him a heck of a run here. Ooh.
Gave him a little bit more than that, but was Robbie's car going straight when Butch got into him there, Gary?
I think Robbie might have got a little bit loose right there. You know, I talked to Bill McGowan, the crew chief on the 63 car before the race. He told me they qualified with a very loose car, and you know, obviously Robbie was a little bit loose. Butch might have taken a little bit of air off the spoiler, got him going that way, and just a little touch got him going the rest of the way.
Well, let's check in with Rob Albright.
We could conjecture all night long, but let's get it from the horse's mouth. Robbie Pyle, what happened?
I don't know. It just got loose coming off of 2 there. I'm not sure if I got help or not. I'd have to see what happened.
Well, obviously, Robbie not willing to commit, not willing to place any blame, not willing to accept any responsibility, but certainly confused and disappointed over this early departure from the race. Work continues on car number 63, guys.
For the same stardom as Jimmy, and you know, who's going to be next? Who knows?
Well, we did a graphic in the last show where we compared Jimmy and Reed at that point in the season, and Reed's stats were slightly better than Jimmy's were in his first year. And the interesting thing, Butch Miller, I think, gave Reed Jimmy Johnson one of the great compliments. Butch said, I would stand that year and watch him qualify, and he was so smooth, and he goes, suddenly he'd be full throttle, and I go, where did he do that? And he said, I actually tried to model some of my driving after Jimmy Johnson, which I think is some tremendous stuff. Here's the battle, 12th through 15th. You see number 86 right there, and number 5. I mean, these guys having a great scrap. Then number 2, Chad Wood, and behind them is the 44 Casalino, but Joey Miller has looped it right in the middle of the track, turned, well, really midpoint, 3 and 4, and everybody seems to have caught that. The spotters on top of their game as well, and nobody getting into him at this point after the incident. He's bailing out of the car, so that car apparently is not going to go anywhere without some help.
We've had some wall bangers in practice, about half a dozen. Joey Miller was one of them and collected in turns 3 and 4. A really tricky place on the racetrack, and Joey Miller on a partial schedule here has trouble during the race now. Joey Miller, bad break for him. They came and tested here, but he's been playing around. He's been running different series to get some testing. He said it's a lot different racing IRP than it is at Texas Motor Speedway or Kentucky, where he's going 160 in a Kodak Southeast Series car. So he's adjusting to the track, and unfortunately the track bit him tonight.
Yeah, I would say so, and he is, I'll tell you what, Joey Miller's a lot of fun to watch, as is this guy, Reed Sorensen. What a story this season, and here's the midterm report card for Reed Sorensen, and as I said, throughout the race tonight, we're going to be checking in with the drivers, find out what they think their report card is at this time of the year.
I'd have to say probably a B- right now. We started out the season pretty good with a strong run at Lakeland, and fell off a little bit and then came back running strong here again, and just a couple things we need to work out in the shop and get a little bit faster, and I think we got a good car for the end of the year.